Hello friends, today we are going to discuss about the ITIL V3, the foundation level. Well, we all know that the IT companies have in the past days and the past years have grown with a tremendous speed and now capturing all over the world with the importance of data. So we know that it is becoming increasingly recognized that nowadays information is the most strategic resource that any organization has to manage. Key to the collection, analysis, production, and distribution of information within an organization is the quality of IT services provided to the business. It is essential that we recognize that IT services are crucial strategic organizational assets. Therefore, organizations must invest appropriate levels of resource in the support, delivery, and management of these critical IT services and the IT systems that underpin them. Well, however, nowadays the outlook, or if you could say, the aspects of the IT are overlooked and only superficially addressed within many organizations. Business managers tries to improve the process through its implementation of various tools, but they also faces very key resources, lack of resources, and most of the issue which cause troubling of the managers in today's world are planning IT and business strategy. Well, in this case, when a process comes in, the manager lacks the confidence of planning. If the planning is not properly, then the strategy won't be executed. Next comes integrating and aligning IT and business goals. Well, every task comes with a sense of responsibility and of objective. So the manager has to make decisions to perform a proper, well-executed process plan and to achieve the objective. Now the third point comes out here is implementing continual improvement. Well, once the process started, the role of the manager is to make sure the process works properly, and once the process is working fine and it's stable, then the continuous service improvement needs to be there to make few changes in the process and to make it work more properly. Now again comes measuring the IT organization's effectiveness and efficiency. It's a responsibility of the manager to measure what exactly he can do to perform well in his process by applying quality techniques, by measuring the effectiveness and the efficiency of the employees, by taking out the distance on the tools, like what exactly can be done to make sure that the software works more efficiently and there's a the waste should not be there, the waste of the unused materials. Optimizing cost and the total cost of ownership. Well, this is one of the most important point. Every process comes out with a cost, and it's the responsibility of the manager to make sure that the process cost is approved in such a way that the benefits are there and the company generates revenue from it. And it's the responsibility of the manager to take the ownership of the cost and make sure that the process works fine. Now, achieving and demonstrating return on investment. Well, if you are working with a project, then naturally the investments are there. So the process manager has to seriously think that how can he make the most of it from the project and the return on investment is high so that the company generates the revenue. Now, one of the most important aspects, like developing partnerships, or we could say development of the relationship between the business and the IT. By business and the IT, I mean by between the clients and the business. And if the relations are well maintained, the future scope of the growth of the company is perfectly fine, because if the client is happy, then the client will definitely give more and more projects. Now, improving project delivery success. Once the project has started, it's a responsibility of the manager to make sure that the project gets delivered more properly and in a successful manner. Now, outsourcing, insourcing, smart sourcing. Well, outsourcing, to be frank, in this case, the manager has to outsource some part of its work to the people or to the company or to the third party payroll to get the work done in a specific time, because the person has to meet specific deadlines. Insourcing within the company, within his team, and smart sourcing, some works could be done smartly rather than working on it more periodically and historically. The smart work could be out there and by using simple tools and indicative methods, the process and the problems can be solved. Now, using IT systems to gain the competitive advantage over its competitor. Now, delivering the business justified what exactly the client want and what exactly the client delivers, and demonstrating IT governance. So this was the key issues which are actually faced by the manager in the today's world, and they are still working on it to get it improved on day-to-day basis. So what exactly led to the improvement of the IT solutions? I mean, when all these processes are there, what exactly came to the new structure, what the new structure exactly was, so that the people could achieve these targets and objectives? Yes, this new structure was the ITSM. It's IT service management, which ensures that the IT services are aligned with the business needs and actively support them. So it is also increasingly important that it acts as an agent for change to facilitate business transformation. Now, the term ITSM is used in the many ways, and the organization seeking governance and increased maturity of their organization, they use on it on a daily basis. Well, some of the standard elements for definition of ITSM, you will include that description of the process required to deliver and support IT services for their customers. In this scenario, the process is properly documented and well maintained with exactly what exactly the client wants and the client refers. So it's the role of the manager to make sure that the service delivery is perfectly in the client's dimension and the client gets exactly what he wanted. Now, the purpose behind delivering the exact service is to meet the organizational objective of the project. Every project comes with an objective and a goal. So the team has to make sure that the manager and his entire team meets the specific deadline and the specific goals. Now, the development of the role and the definition of the role is to be well maintained and distributed in a proper hierarchy, which includes IT staff, customers, their managers, and stakeholders involved. And in this case, the manager of the external suppliers also could be in the central party and can support by giving the proper technologies and products being given by the IT systems. So this was the problems which were causing the managers to make decisions, and luckily ITSM came. So when ITSM came, it bring along with it the ITIL V3 Foundation. So what's exactly ITIL V3 Foundation? See, ITIL V3 framework. ITIL consists of ITIL is a set of good practices applied by the IT system which focus on the continual improvement of the services in the IT framework to let down certain guidelines and the principles where the IT services could perform better and the industry could grow more. It consists of knowledge and skills, governance methods, standards alignment, case study templates, qualifications, executive introductions, specific topics, and various ITIL life cycles to get into the flow done. So yes, here we go. So it's a public framework, that describes the best practices in IT service management. It has a set of well-defined principles which actually define the process flow in such a manner that the organizational objectives are met. So it provides a framework for the governance of IT, which means it set specific rules and protocols by which the data are governed and properly executed, and the management makes sure that everything is in proper order and in proper place, and they take control of the IT services. Most important thing, it focuses on the continual measurement and the improvement of the quality of the service delivered, both from the business and customer perspective. From a customer's perspective, the customer would definitely want a service which would not satisfy him but astonish. By what astonish, I mean it should exceed the level of the customer happiness. And as a service deliver team, the team should be dedicated on providing the services to the customer, meeting the following requirements, and providing extra sales support to them. so that the customer is happy. If the customer is happy, then the organization will definitely grow. And as we say that the term ITIL stands for Information Technology Infrastructure Library. It was first published in 1989 and 1995 by HMSO in the UK on the behalf of the Communications and Telecommunications Agency, and its earlier principle was confined to the UK and the Netherlands. Now about V3, the latest technology is the ITIL V3, which is used in the organization to generate proper structure flow. Well, first of all, ITIL started in the 80s, which consisted of 40 publications, and now started the framework of introducing more good practices in the organization. Now, along with it, V2 came in the year 2000, lasted for about 4 to 5 years. It was still large and complex, 8 books, but it should always define that what exactly we did and how to make sure the process gets improved. Now, the change was in V3, that was in the year 2007, which made the process much more simplified and easy for the managers and the process owners to understand what kind of role or what kind of information do they need and what tools do they need to run the process more easily. So the benefits of V3 came by, like, it was much simplified and was rationalized only to 5 books. The library had this kinds of books, and they provided much clearer guidance on how to provide service. Service providence is one of the most important thing that the service agent should know, that how to provide the service and what exactly the customer wants and to the service provided in that frame of network. Now, more easier and the more modular accreditation paths provides with the tactical and the operational guidance and give more clear understanding of the ITIL system workflow to the senior staff, and most importantly aligned with ISO 2000, first international standard for IT service management, mostly based on ITIL 2005.